For 2 months, I thought I was disciplined, but I was not. I was following my rules, but something was off. People say in trading, you must be disciplined in order to make profits, in order to have a successful career. Well, here's the brutal truth. In trading, discipline is not what you think. Yes, when I say the word discipline, most of you are thinking a set of rules that needs to be followed consistently for a certain period of time. That is partially the case in trading. The entire idea behind discipline in trading comes from a few and certain amount of principles that every trader needs to follow. Discipline is not what you think it is in trading. So, what is discipline in trading? I'm sure most of you would have wondered at some point that what is discipline in trading? And people keep telling me I should be disciplined in trading and I should follow my rules. But even though I'm following my rules, I'm not able to make any amount of profit or I'm not becoming a profitable trader. The answer to that is you're thinking you're disciplined, but you're not. The key to discipline in trading, right, is not just following your rules and trading every day. It's actually quite the opposite. Discipline in trading means that you are not supposed to trade every single day. That is the main frame behind discipline in trading. People often assume that discipline would require you to trade every single day, every time your model has appeared or the rules have matched with your trading style. But that is not the case. It means skipping days that are not very tradable events. Say, for example, you have a day where the market has moved up or down 1,000 points. Then it's obvious that you need to skip the day, because if the market has moved up or down 1,000 points, then it naturally should occur to you that this market is highly manipulative and it's not safe for me to invest my capital. So you need to understand that discipline does not mean trading consistently. It means trading on the days that are actually worth trading. And the second thing is that most people, right, do not go for backtesting. They directly dive into the markets, and that is a big mistake that every single trader should avoid. I personally had gone through the same phase, but once I had started backtesting and once I had started progressing in my backtest, it automatically started reflecting on my front accounts as well. Because if you understand your strategy, if you understand your model, and if you follow through your rules on backtesting, naturally the progress there would automatically start reflecting on your funded account as well. Because each time you backtest, right, you reinforce your rules, you reinforce your models into your brain. The brain is basically an AI model that requires constant training, and backtesting is the data set that you need to feed the brain in order to perform in real time, in order to make it perform better and perfect in real time. Example, take ChatGPT for an example. When version 1 was released, it was shit. But after a few amount of training, right, we users, you and me, both of us, we actually trained ChatGPT. We provided data, we asked questions. So the more we backtest, the better we become. And this was also the case for me. I backtest for several hours, and I mean hours in terms of backtesting. In real life, it was days. I was backtesting for days and days before my model, my strategy, my entry points, everything was ready. Only after that, right, I was able to become profitable. I'm sure you guys know that I have been trading for more than 3 years, and it's not been more than a year since I have become profitable. It was because I started backtesting. 2 years, right? 2 years, it was a progress where it was slow. Backtesting provides you a way of progress, exponential progress, because you have all the previous year's data from which you could start and come up until this year. So it gives you a very big advantage where you can directly jump in, backtest years of data. And people need to realize that backtesting is actually the way to do trading. Once you have taken a trade, right, whether it's successful or not, whether you make a profit or not, that should be secondary for you. Always aim for taking the trade perfectly. Make sure that you have followed your rules, you have followed your model, you have skipped the day, right? Ensure that if the day is not correct, if the day is not your trading day, if the day has moved up 1,000 points up or down, if the trade is if the entire day has been very choppy, make sure you skip that day. That is what discipline means, and that is what I learned after 2 years. After 2 years of being in the market and getting 1,000 SLs, God knows how many SLs I have got. This is my personal recommendation. Find a good backtesting software, pay for it, or you guys have a lot of free backtesting softwares as well. Spend some time on it, because that is the only way you're going to see progression, exponential progress. I do not mean linear progression, exponential progression in just 6 months. You will not believe me. Just try it out for yourself. Most of you guys, once you have started backtesting, you will see an exponential growth that you have not seen in an entire career of trading. And this is something that I can personally guarantee you guys as well. This, I'm not promoting any brand or any kind of softwares. That's up to you. Find your backtesting software, create a strategy, backtest. That is how you build discipline. You do not build discipline by trading every day or just blindly following your rules or models. That is not going to help you. Sure, go ahead, see some ICT lectures and so on. But also remember, you're seeing lectures, you need to practice, you need to practice in order to make it better. You cannot perfect it in a single day or a single year. It's going to take time. It took me 3 years before I could come up with my own strategy, backtest it, perfect it, and then start trading. Even today, my strategy, my models, there are times when I take SL. That is how it is. That is how the game is. You will just have to trust your model and go ahead. It's like 80% of the time, sure, you may make a profit, but that 20% is where it affects your psychology and where it affects your discipline. And that is where you need to be careful. Trust your model. Make sure you understand what discipline is before you enter the market. Not even a trade, before you enter the market, and then come in, take a trade, take 1 or 2 trades max per day. Make sure that the risk management most of us are following is proper. I know that there are traders out there who say go ahead, take 5 to 10% risk and so on and so forth. That is up to you guys. That is not what I follow. But go ahead, if you guys are not using funded accounts and you're on real accounts, I'm sure 5%, 10% is not going to be much of a change. But if you're on funded accounts, right, you have certain rules and stuff where sometimes you might hit and you'll have to buy an account again. If you have enough amount of money, go ahead. But personally, I wouldn't recommend that. So what I would like to end this video with saying, please understand what discipline is in trading before you even start trading, because it will detour you for a very long time before you actually start entering the journey. And I did that. This was my experience that I'm sharing, and I don't want you guys to also have such an experience. This is it, guys. Let's see how this week progresses.